ki khubor nakaslem jong unong san Hima.
Uba Lahkmen rembui haba upan pau ba uklem don Jingtip bat ukendit halor kei kebalajia haka khatlai tarik menta ubanai haba yadai bergijing syaksiat uba Cherish Starfield thank you haying sa lajong hamaulai kapau ba ulong kum menteri Pohïing tang haka kerteng ya gani lapan pau dau Dr. Mukul sangma haba ya keren bat unong san Hima haying sa ajungu ha kasngi palai nakaleng Dr. Mukul sangma ulo ongru balada uba Lahkmen don Jingtip uladai benlet keliru ya menteri rangba ukon rat ke sangma yo Lehse ma uru uklem don Jingtip ai halor kete ke jingjia kala ban longru ba Lehse don Jingtip tang menteri rangba bat Kumta ki jubab yakine baro habban yo na susu Dr. Mukul ula ongru ba kene kadai kesin kaban nengkong ha ke history jong kesan pertai hamekalaya namar ngimpat juyo ngau ba menteri ketenat unam don Jingtip habadon ke jingjia kabaya dai bat ketenat jungu lanik jongka ula ong bat benrap ru ba Lehse uba Lahkmen ula le Benami yakah tenat Pohïing da kaba ladon ke jingya kren bakin trei dakiwei bat maupat don kamban lei bat yakine baro habwat ya ke jing shisha.
See, I will put it this way. If the Home Minister has said so, he also should ask the CM whether he also knew or not. That may also be appropriate. I don't know whether the CM knew, but the Home Minister didn't know, or I don't know whether both the CM and the Home Minister didn't know, or otherwise another version will be whether it was only CM who was monitoring everything and nobody else was made to know. So this answer will be probably available from the CM. But the fact is that the Home Minister himself has said that he didn't know, he was shocked, because I saw the word that he used, shocked. Shocked means what? Then he didn't know. He was taken by surprise by the developments that unfolded. So therefore, if what the Home Minister is saying is correct, then it is another serious issue. It is another serious issue. Because then what is the interpretation that can be looked at? One interpretation is that means after, because please remember the background as to how the home police portfolio was allocated to Mr. Mukul. It was when the Chief Minister had to succumb to the demand for relieving Mr. James K. Sangma from the home portfolio for alleged irregularities while running the department. Okay, that's the background. Now that means this particular background and the present statement of the Home Minister can be corroborated, and then we can have an interpretation. That means, was it then, or is it then, that the incumbent Home Minister is a Home Minister only for namesake, and everything is being done by either the Chief Minister or the RDR Home Minister? We'll have to ask questions. Was he only for the sake of name? That okay, Home Minister is so and so, but then whole other whatever decisions are required to be taken, whatever actions are required to be taken vis-a-vis any development in the department is to be taken by somebody else. Somebody operates from behind. But we have never heard this kind of thing, this interpretation that I am sharing with you. If it is something, then it will be something new in the history of Meghalaya politics. But you cannot rule out by the version of the Home Minister himself. It's quite interesting, because I have heard that, if somebody does your job, though you should be actually doing that job by virtue of the name reflected in who is doing that job. Like you have that so-called Benami business also. Is it something like that or what? You have to find out. Then you put the name, but then don't do anything, and we will do everything kind of thing. Was it this arrangement? We have to find out. This particular statement of the Home Minister actually provokes me to think that way. You have to bear with me, because it is circumstantial interpretation that is ultimately getting generated from this conversation.
But sir, do you think even the police department, knowing that Lahkmen is Home Minister, do you think that they could have bypassed him?
Please know one thing. Now, who calls the shots? When there is a transfer and posting of any senior police officers, it has to be approved by the Chief Minister. Okay. I have been saying this number of times, because there has been always, fingers being pointed only to the minister concerned. Earlier, when there was allegation against James Samma, pertaining to all those alleged irregularities in management of and whole affairs and functioning of the police organization, I have said that why the Home Minister alone? Please remember one thing, that the posting and transfer of these officers, even a gazetted officer, if has to be transferred before 3 years of posting in the same place, it has to be approved by the personnel department, approved by the Chief Minister. The department concerned has to justify why they want to move. Is it in the interest of the people or otherwise? Unless it is in the interest of people, no transfers are allowed. So this is how the system works. Now, transfer and posting of the deputy commissioners, transfer and postings of the SPs, they are not done by the Home Minister alone. Home Minister will be forwarding the PAB, the police, this administrative board, for consideration of the proposed posting, will have to be approved by the Chief Minister. Okay? So, Chief Minister calls the shots. And therefore, you know how human psychology works. If I had to know that who is calling the shots, then I will obviously respond to that. And not only that, one more thing you have to understand. When we are dealing with issues of dealing with militant outfits, insurgent outfits, terrorist organization, then what happens? Then the political department actually have to be taken into confidence by the police department. Now, if there is a need for any consideration of a proposal for any negotiation, it's the political department which decides. Even the way we deal with the issue of inviting for surrendering of members of any organization, any militant outfits, the whole thing is dealt by the political department, which is with the portfolio is vested with the Chief Minister. So therefore, when you are dealing with the problem associated with any surrender, it's a political department which should take cognizance of various developments unfolding. If there is any issue related to any of the members of the organizations who have surrendered, and if he's slipping back, then there is a way of dealing with them. You need to have somebody to negotiate with them again, to reach out to them. This is what we used to do. There are dedicated officers put for that. Dedicated, senior officers who are entrusted with these jobs. That they should be called upon, then they should be given a chance to, share their concerns. And if there is anything that requires to be corrected, then these are discussed. That is how things are done. Now, why this system, why this mechanism is adopted? Because today, one important thing, if Chester Phil has surrendered, why did he surrender? Because he had trust and confidence on the system. Because he has trust and confidence on the government, that he can surrender and assimilate himself with the national mainstream. That's the trust and confidence with which he has come. Now, therefore, it is incumbent upon the government to ensure that this kind of trust and confidence remains available for everybody, for now and for future. Now, once this is broken, then you will have problem in future. You will have problem in future, because when you are confronted with similar kind of challenges in the future, then what happens? You'll have to find out a mechanism. And inviting members of the organizations to withdraw from their organizations and be part of the national mainstream has always been one part. But when you want to embark upon that similar strategy, this lack of trust and confidence will come on the way. It will act as a hurdle, a big hurdle in achieving and restoring peace. That's why I'm saying everything that has happened has its disastrous ramification for the future. And this is because of the existing dispensation of governance. And therefore it is necessary to prevent similar further incident which will have its disastrous ramification for the future. I'll not confine only to this. I am saying that this particular incident will generate thousands of questions before they agree to trust and have confidence on the government whenever we reach out to any organization, now and in future. It's not just confined to now. Even after 20 years, this question will be there. Look, in 2021, on 13th of August, this is something what has happened. Are you sure? Are you confident? So I'm talking about these disastrous ramifications that has already happened.
But do you think also what has happened with Bache would have, because people have been talking that what has happened with Bache, now HLC, there will be a resurgence of HLC.
See, I will not agree to that. I know there is frustration, anger among the youth. I know people have reason to have that conclusion, but good sense must prevail amongst all our youths. It is not that everything is lost. Yes, this beautiful state of ours and the potentiality of our youth are strong enough to prevent that. Yes, the only thing is that please have faith in your own competence and capacity. The youth of the state, the potentiality that they have, they must have faith in their own self. They must believe in themselves. And irrespective of what has happened, we will ensure a course correction and ensure that one doesn't have to lose faith and confidence on the system, and one doesn't have to lose hope, but there will be a sense of confidence and trust that at the end of the tunnel we will find light.